Okay. Where the wild things are. I got the glare. There we go. How about that? This is by Maurice Sendak. And this gold thing here means that lots of kids have read it and a lot of kids like it. Okay, now let's see. It says, at first it says where the wild things are. And then there's some pictures of some wild things. Whoa, look at them. And Max, can you see him? Oh my. And the night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another. What's he doing? He has a fork. He looks like he's chasing a dog. I think he's not acting very nice. His mother called him Wild Things, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. Flip this way a wee bit. That very night, in Max's room, a forest grew. Look at that. What happened to his bed? Looked like it turned into trees, and there's trees at the top. Do you see? And grew. I don't even see his bed hardly anymore. I just see a little bit right there in the background, but mostly I don't see it. It looks more like a forest. And look at him, he's giggling. Can you see his face? Let's see. He's giggling. And the forest grew until his ceiling hung with vines, and the walls became the world all around. Oh, wow. And an ocean. Can you see that? An ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through the night and day. Oh, that's nice. He's in a boat there. Where am I on minutes? 3. Okay. And in and out of weeks and almost over a year, where the wild things are. Whoa, look at that guy. That's where he went so far. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth. Look at that. Oh, they are wild. Look at them. And they rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. Whoa, look at them. Until Max said, "Be still." And he tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened, and they called him the most wild thing of all. I can do this a little better. They made him king of all wild things. Look, now he has a crown. And they're bowing down to him. They say, he is the most wild. Look at those wild things. And now, cried Max, let the wild rumpus start. He says, I want to be wild, and we're all going to be wild together. Hooray! Hooray! We're all going to be wild. Wild, wild, wild. Look at that guy. And you could see the big moon outside. And then it was day, and they were still being wild. Look at that. What, are they hanging from all those trees? Hey, they're all wild. They're having a good time, I think, huh? It's starting to get dark again, and they're still being wild. Slowing down a little, though, don't you think? There he is, riding on their shoulders. They look friendly. Okay, now stop, Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely, and he wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around, from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up, being king of where the wild things are. He's kind of lonely. He doesn't want to be king anymore. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up, we love you so." And Max said no. The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes. Like this, when you roll your eyes, you go like that. And showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. Bye now. They wanted him to stay, but he said, "No, I gotta go. Bye-bye now." And sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day. Remember, that's how he got there. And into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. Oh, here he is. His own room. And guess what? Look, what's on the table? His dinner. He's in his own room. Oops, excuse me, with his own bed. Looks like he's starting to take off his wolf suit now. Let's see. And it says, and it was still hot. That's nice. His dinner was in there, and it was still hot. So he was so wild, and he was kind of being naughty, chasing the dog and stuff. And so then his mother said, "You go to bed." And so he did. He went to his room, and then his room turned into a jungle, and he sailed off. And then he went to where the wild things were, and he was king of the wild things. And then he told them, "You got to stop now, stop." And then they all stopped, and he got back in his boat, and he went home. And then he got back into his room, and his dinner was there, and it was still hot. That's nice. So, Where the Wild Things Are, Maurice Sendak. That's a good one. All right. Now what do? I got to press something. Oh, yeah, this.